Hey, thanks for coming by watching my channel again, the Mike Talk Podcast. So before I get started, I want to ask you to do something for me. I want you to hit that subscribe button. I want you to hit the like button. And if you're on Facebook, please go to my YouTube channel, Mike Flair, on YouTube, and subscribe to my channel. Help me get the numbers up. Go to our podcast channel. We try to do it every week. We try to do it post one every week. And if you have any topics, anything you would like to hear us talk about, definitely hit us up. Send us a message. We can definitely dissect it for you. And go to that page too, Corptech Media at YouTube, CORPTECHMEDIA, Corptech Media. And also subscribe to that channel as well. And thanks for watching the content. I know I put a lot of stuff out over the snow days, and I mean everybody was off work pretty much, so and everybody showed love, and I appreciate that. So please go to our channels and subscribe there as well. So today's podcast, I want to talk about clarity. What does clarity mean? Layman's terms, making something crystal clear where anybody can understand it. When I was growing up, probably around 8th, 9th grade, somewhere in there, probably most of high school, definitely, used to have those moments of clarity in my head, like I understand something, even though it's not being taught to me, I'm watching it in real time, but I'm gaining clarity at the same time. And one thing I want to say to anybody is you need to gain clarity about who you are. What kind of personality do you have? What's your personality like? Why you do some of the things that you do? Some of it's genetic, some of it's just things you picked up along the way, and some of it's a defense mechanism. But if you can ask yourself why, answer that why, and be honest with yourself, you will gain a lot of clarity about you. You gain a lot of clarity about life. You gain a lot of clarity about things that you need to build around to make your life better. So, in life, we have these moments that we look back on or currently going through in real time, and you gain moments of clarity. So, for me, I didn't understand the importance of having your biological father until I got older. And when I was younger, because he died when I was 13, 12, 13, somewhere in there. So I had to figure it out, a lot of things as far as me, learning about me. And I started gaining clarity along the way, being able to think for myself, being able to be that independent thinker, and not be such a person that can be easily influenced, or a person that follows people like that. I always kind of been my own person. Even when I hung out with my boys, I always still kind of been my own man at the same time. Probably almost to a fault, but just how I'm wired. But when you get older, if you have your biological father, and he's doing, good things, he's a good influence, man, I think you will definitely have an impact on your life. That's the blanket statement, but it really, really does make an impact. Another thing I got clarity about is perception, right? I don't let somebody else's perception or thoughts dictate the decision that I make. When I make a decision, and because I'm married, what I'm saying, me and my wife, we make decisions together, and we talk it out. But before I was married, I made decisions as an individual, and it was based on what I thought, and try to take the most logical approach that I could take. Not based on emotion, not based on how I feel, but what's the logical approach. And it made me a very logical person, and it's almost like a flow chart. Like if I do this, it split off to this. If I do this, it splits off 3 different things that can happen. And it kind of gave me clarity on some things about life. And as we keep making this content, I could share stories and stuff like that. But those moments of clarity, though, being able to think past the right now to try to make the best decision. Not saying everybody you're gonna be perfect, but the more things you can think about, the good, the bad, the ugly, the more clarity you can have about the decision that you're making or going into. A lot of times people want to do stuff and all they think about is the good. Like you want to own a business, all you think about is the good, and it's gonna be cake. But you never think about the bad. You never think about the person that want to sue you or the people trying to give you bad reviews just cause the trolls and stuff like that. You don't think about those kind. You have to think about the whole picture. You know, being able to safeguard yourself from everything that you can. So, next one. Can you be honest with yourself to give yourself clarity about yourself in order to grow? What do I mean by that? Can you be honest with yourself? Everybody has struggles. Nobody's perfect. I get it. But can you be honest with yourself about the struggles that you have to strive to overcome those struggles? Can you be honest with yourself and say, you know what? I put myself in this situation. Nobody else. I can't blame nobody else. Can you be honest with yourself and say, I really need to work on this? Or do you have to be told that? Because some things we think that's good may not be that good to another person. And some things we think that's bad may be good to another person. It's weird. That's how life works sometimes. But you have to be honest with yourself and say, you know what? Maybe I don't need to joke as much. Maybe I don't need to be as straightforward. Maybe I don't need to be so unbearable that, I drive people away. And if you say, okay, I want to be unbearable, you just take the consequences that come with it. Like, I understand this is what I am. I understand this is probably a solitary lifestyle, and I just got to take what come with it. But this what works for me. And I always used to say that when I was younger. You could do whatever you want to do, but you got to take the consequences that come with it. You can't do what you want to do and then say, I didn't know it was going to be like this. You got to take what come with it. I had to take the consequences of a lot of things. And overcoming a mistake that you make in life, you have to have that clarity on how you got to that point to make that mistake and how to prevent getting to that point again from making that mistake again. That's part of life. And if you can understand that and be honest with yourself and not beat yourself up, or it will prevent you from repeating a lot of the same things over and over, going in circles. A lot of times, if you keep going in circles, you're not paying attention to detailed stuff, or some people like going in circles. So, when you become an adult, you have to live on your own without the help of your parents. Your perspective changes about life. When you decide to take the dive about life and live on your own and move out of your parents' house, live under your own roof, all the excuses that you think you can make, it don't matter. When you move out of your parents' house, all the stuff you complain about, I don't like when my mom or I don't like when my dad do this, it's going to be your turn to live your life and make your decisions. And it's going to show your parents that you're ready for the world. One thing your parents could come in and let me know, a parent always wants is to know that their kids can make it in the world without having to live off or constantly come back and ask and take. Being able to make your own way and and finance your own lifestyle without having to always borrow, and depend on somebody else to give you that extra $150 or $200. Being able to live within your own means and provide for yourself without having to have somebody else provide for you, especially as a man. That's what you want. Most of our parents want us to get to that level where you can provide for yourself and sustain, because believe it or not, our parents don't live forever. We don't live forever. But the parents, they can rest assured that my baby or my kid or my kids with an S is able to survive and take care of themselves without having to put themselves in crazy predicaments and crazy situations. So that's what you want to do. You want to put yourself, when you move out the house, some people try to make excuses, well, my parents didn't do this or do that. It don't matter anymore. Once you live on your own, it's all you. It's all on you what you want to do. It's all your decisions, all on you. Even though you can still go back and talk to them for counsel and ask for help. But at the end of the day, you still got to make decisions for you. You still got to have a way to make your decisions, a system in place. Or, like I said, I'm logical. It's a logical stuff I use to make decisions. Like, I'm a logical person. But there's something you have to think about. When you move out, you get that apartment. What's the right apartments to move to? Do I need a car note or do I need a cash car? Do I need to buy these groceries or do I need to buy these groceries? You have to think about that. Like, how much can I afford? What can I afford to live on right now? Instead of trying to live outside of your means, that means getting stuff that's over your head as far as how much you make. Like, if you make $40,000 a year and you driving a $30,000 car, that's you don't want to do that. That's not a smart decision. And I sound like Dave Ramsey. Are you kidding me? You don't want to do that. That's not a good decision, though. So, my young world, think about that. Are you at a point to where you are living on your own merit and taking care of yourself without having to keep going back to your parents and have them front you, $400 or $500 because you're short, because you're living outside your means? Because you don't want to wear that welcome out. And you don't want to make it to where they doing it for years on end and you start depending on that, like that's part of your income. And you say, you know what, I'm short $200, but I know I can go ask my parents for that. I don't live like that. But some people probably do, but I would encourage you not to live like that because you just never know what happens in life. So, next topic. Did you have enough clarity to know what your next move is? This is why I talk about education and skills so much. When I was younger, I didn't have enough clarity on what education really meant and the importance of it and the angle to look at education from. But as I started getting older and working more and more in the corporate world, I started to see those angles and I started to gain clarity on why education is important. And I'll say it like this. There are levels in the corporate world that you cannot get to, especially as a minority, if you don't have education and a skill set. You got to have at least a bachelor's degree. At least. If you want to get to a certain amount in the corporate world. Master's degree, awesome. And with the degree, you still got to have personality, skill set, and communication as well in order to maximize the degree that you gain. However, like I told you in the last one, you still have to pick the right major based on where you live. Like I say, living in Little Rock, we only at best maybe 200,000-300,000 people. So you have to think about the landscape. What's the big fields here? Real estate, investments. And some of us in the hood, we don't even know about those things. We didn't have people come in and talk to us about investments at McClellan and We didn't have politicians come in and tell us about how to become a politician. We didn't have CEOs, talking about the path of being a CEO. There's something that if you lived in Southwest, you had to have some kind of family that got you plugged in, or you probably find out by researching on YouTube or something. But as far as a physical person standing in front of you, like I'm the CEO of this company, if you live in Southwest, you're probably not going to see that. It's very rare that you'll see that. And that's why we making, the Corp Tech Media channel. We really trying to make something where we can expose the youth to different career fields, talk about how to deal with different situations while you're moving up in your career. Because sometimes you have to deal with different personalities and different scenarios based on, where you are on the scale. You're apple, orange, a pineapple, or banana. I don't know which one, but every fruit got its own kind of uphill climb that they got to do, and you have to be able to endure that to get to the top of the mountain. You know what I'm saying? So, but definitely you need to have clarity on the move that you want to make. Like if you go to school, not just going to school, but you need to have clarity on what major that you want to major in. Is this a highly sought after skill set? Do you have clarity on that? And the clarity on how you're going to attack these hours in classes. Are you going to take 3 classes a semester and work full time? Are you going to do 4 or 5 classes a semester and probably try to get it knocked out in 2.5, maybe 3 years? You know what I'm saying? So that's something to think about as well. Clarity is a tool that you need in your toolbox. Working in IT, being able to clarify something to a person that's not IT savvy about different things going on with their machine, that can make you a valuable person in the IT world, because a lot of people don't value clarity like that. It becomes a burden to them. But having that communication to be able to clarify something is a valuable skill in any career field, especially IT, but any career field. But yeah, I just wanted to come by and talk to you a few minutes about clarity. This is Mike. I'm signing out. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Check out our CTM Thinking Game podcast. And you're watching the Mike Talk podcast. Thanks for watching. I'm signing out.